I lean gold all the way because it's real, because you can hold it, and because God's only making so much. And anybody who's already into gold and silver investments, well, they should pat themselves on the back because they made some good investments before the rates went up.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching Yankee Stacking. My recent video on why millennials are largely shunning physical gold and silver got quite a bit of attention. Many people left comments saying, I'm a millennial and Yankee and I stack silver and gold. Well, good for you. That's what you should be doing. But there were quite a few of you out there that said, Yankee, I play the crypto casino because I don't see any good alternatives. Or I got to speculate somewhere, Yankee. I'm young. I can take on big risk for the reward. Where else can I put my money, Yankee? I heard a whole bunch of those comments. I'm not going to debate Bitcoin or crypto here. I've spoken a lot about that in other videos, but I do want you to have speculative options that I think make more sense. That's a big reason I spend the time doing videos on commodity investments and gold and silver mining companies that I think are worth a look. Regardless of the fact that I get compensated for the time it takes to produce these interview videos, I truly believe that speculating a very small portion of your portfolio into mining stocks is really a smart move. I do it, and I'm nearing retirement. Shoot, if you're young, unlike Yankee, it may make sense to have a larger portion in this sector. Why? Well, because it's a contrarian move. I think it's poised to take advantage of where most of us see gold and silver going this decade. It's a speculative, somewhat cyclical value play that I really think you should consider. So in this video, I'll be talking with Nick Luksha, President and Director of Prospect Ridge Resources. I'm going to ask Nick two really big questions to help you out. I'm not telling you to necessarily buy his company stock, okay? I never do that in these types of videos. But I encourage you to invest some time in evaluating them yourself. So if you're a millennial or even a zoomer, right, chasing meme stocks, trying to figure out the next Shiba, you owe it to yourself to listen all the way through on this video. And, maybe even hit the like button. Welcome, Nick. Thank you so much for joining Yankee Stacking.
Thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here. Let's jump in.
All right. My last video that I did on gold and silver got a lot of reaction, Nick, especially from millennials. Many of them were like, Yankee, I'm young, but I'm behind on my investment goals. I believe in gold and silver. I stack them. And I have a long-term outlook, all right? But I need to speculate on things that have big upside potential. Is putting money into gold mining stocks more of a prudent and thoughtful speculation, or is it just a gamble like crypto coins or meme stocks?
It's definitely not a gamble, and that's especially if gold is there. Right now is a great time for gold. We're coming out of a pandemic. We have uncertain times ahead. And as they say, cash is king, but gold is better. I lean gold all the way because it's real, because you can hold it, and because God's only making so much of it.
How do the macroeconomic realities right now factor into why it's much more of a speculation and not gambling?
Bitcoin's on the rise, and I personally wish I bought a bunch of it 10 years ago, but I didn't. And what goes up must come down, and there's nothing that actually backs it up. Gold is real. Gold will always have value, and it'll always be as good, if not better, than actual cash is.
We've got all kinds of issues like supply chain issues, labor shortages, clogged ports, food prices, commodity prices going absolutely nuts. Doesn't that all point to a potential breakout for gold?
Yeah, I think so. I think in 2022 it should be huge. Gold is undoubtedly on the rise. Unfortunately for us at PRR, we have what seems like a huge amount of it. We're really confident in what we're sitting on. And the question for us is how much? Could it be 3 million ounces, maybe 30 million ounces? I don't totally know, but we're going to find out, so stay tuned.
Central banks, too, all around the world, are threatening to raise interest rates in tandem for the first time in like a decade. What if they were able to, hike rates? What would that mean for gold and silver?
If they do that, that's a damn good thing for people in the gold and silver mining business, because that just puts us in a far stronger position they're already in. And anybody who's already into gold and silver investments, well, they should pat themselves on the back because they made some good investments before the rates went up.
And so, Nick, I got a second question for you, and it's this. Why Prospect Ridge? Why is it so special?
We're confident what we're sitting on here is a lot of great minerals, gold and silver. And so we feel that our company, given all these uncertain things and potentially scary things that are going to happen in the not too distant future, will largely benefit us and all our shareholders. We're based out of Vancouver, British Columbia, is a global hub for that. There's been a lot of people that have made fortunes in mining here. And right now, at this given time, we are in a great place for mining. Not only are we in a great place for mining geographically, it's also just a good time in the markets. So this is a good time, and moving forward will prove to be even better, we think, to invest in mining companies that are, pulling out gold, silver, and various other minerals. As we continue to prove up these locations, we think right now that we have 8 to 10 drill-ready spots, 4 for sure, and we believe by spring we'll have another 4 to 6. So we're going to work on that over the course of the winter, but we've got quite a few. We are headed by a guy who's a mining legend in Canada and, frankly, a lot of the world. Mike came out of retirement to get into this business. The reason why is that he saw rock from this property that he could not turn down. Our samples are coming back very strong. We got gold, we got silver, we got other minerals. And whether we were going out by helicopter, truck, hiking, there was visible gold all over the place. And one thing that's huge that everybody has to remember is that this is the same geology as the Golden Triangle, which we are directly south of. I was in the helicopter with a bunch of the guys, Mike, of course, geologists, our incredibly talented prospector, and a pilot, because, you need that to fly. And at one point, Mike turned to me and through the headset, so everybody in the helicopter could hear, he said, "Look at how excited the geologists are." That gets me excited because these guys are scientists that prove that we've got the good stuff. All signs point to at least one, if not numerous, major deposits. Now it's our job to go and find.
One of your projects, the Holy Grail. That's awesome, man. That's your flagship acquisition, right?
It is our flagship. It alone was over 70,000 hectares, and then we added to it with Noss Creek. We called it the Holy Grail because of the huge gold grades that we've been getting back. It's crazy, and it's everywhere. And I've gone up there and I've seen it with my own eyes. And like I was saying earlier, you can fly around in the helicopter and land spots. You can go up all the logging roads, because access is actually a great thing on the property. There's logging roads across crud everywhere. You find it all over the place. You hop out and hike, 150 feet into the woods, and you crack a rock, and then you start examining it. It's like, oh, look at that, visible gold.
It was enough to pull Michael Iverson out of retirement.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So, I could go on for ages about him because he brings a ton to the table. Besides being a great guy, he's a friend, a mentor, and he's also the tough old veteran that's done that several times with Fortuna, Nile Gold, Volcanic Gold. So it's kind of like if General Douglas MacArthur came out of retirement and won a major war. In mining, that's what he is. So what's that all mean from a human perspective? You got this wealthy guy, he's living his dream retirement, and he decides to jump back into the game for one last charge. So I think that alone is a clear and present declaration of what he feels is in these mountains, and that's lots of gold. Mike saw the initial samples, he flew up to the ground for himself, and then brought numerous seasoned geological opinions in to make sure that they were seeing the same thing. They all agreed, and then he couldn't help himself. The mining magnate is back. And this is going to be his one last big hurrah. Is
it true that we've seen stocks in other mines in this area go up 700%, 1,000%?
Yeah, it is. And this is definitely one of the best regions on the entire planet for precious metals. And we're hoping that we're going to prove it up to be the best. Other stocks you refer to, they're great measuring sticks for our own. And really, the sky's the limit. So a rally of this nature, whether it be, 700, 1,000%. This is completely possible.
Guys, I don't know if you're hearing this, you millennials watching right now, but if you're into speculative investing, this is what I've been talking about. These are the types of mining companies you need to check out. All right, Nick, I got a thing called the Yankee Quadrant. It's 4 factors I use to help me pick a great mining stock. It's management, because if you don't have good management, forget about it, right? So it's management, projects, which you're touching on right now, and I'm loving it. Ownership and financials. So I want to talk a little bit about the latter two, ownership and financials. How much insider ownership do you currently have?
It's about 60%. And, you know, there's Mike and his big players that have been with him through the successes of Fortuna Silver, Now Gold, etc. Then there's numerous other members of our team, including myself, that have brought in those that we hold dear. And then I also want to add that our core group, people mentioned, they're not the type of people that get excited about a small operation with small returns. We're all in this for a big success, and we're all confident we're going to deliver that. And when I say that, I mean, we have 2 billionaire families that are part of our core group, and another one that's not quite a billionaire, but pretty close too. So these guys aren't looking at this like maybe I can make a couple $1 million. So that doesn't excite them. What excites them is making 20 or 30 million. So our core group is in this to win. We're in this for the big success and the longer hold.
Wow. How does your share structure break out?
We'll have a total of, I believe it's 49 million outstanding once fully diluted after this current financing.
Okay.
We have 0 debt, and we've got $5 million in the bank. We're going to have warrants that bring in close to another 6, and then we're raising up to another 10. So we're extremely well capitalized. We have more than enough money to prospect and operate throughout the winter, drill 10 to 20,000 meters in the spring, which we feel that we're going to hit some good stuff then. So we're extremely well capitalized, and we don't owe any money to anybody.
You trade under the Canadian Stock Exchange with ticker symbol PRR, and in the US under the ticker symbol PRRSF. In fact, I think that over-the-counter offering was just announced for the US this month, right?
That's correct, yeah.
The Canadian stock price has been very impressive, Nick. It's up, as of this recording, 750% since May 31st.
We feel that we're going to keep doing that, and the reason why I say that is because we had our team in the field out there banging on rocks for the last 7 months. And that means that they acquired and then submitted all this rock for samples. So those samples, they're just going to keep coming back to us. And as they come back to us, then we're going to announce it to the market. So we think that we have a lot of blue sky ahead of us.
It's an over-the-counter market stock in the US, so make sure your trading app can actually purchase it if you're interested in becoming a shareholder. In fact, Nick, how can people get in touch with you if they have more questions?
Please email me. My email address is on the website. I'm happy to talk to anybody. I'm happy to answer any questions. It brings me joy to share the story of this very cool and exciting company.
Great. I'll include your information, all the information about your company in the description of the video. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate the time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this interview with Nick. As I always say, do your own homework, make your own investment decisions, and only speculate in Prospect Ridge or any other junior mining company if you're willing to lose some money. And as always, I hope your day is A-OK.